blamed, and that was part of it when he was so tortured. He felt so bad that he couldn't save his family. And he actually somewhere, even though it's irrational, really felt like he would go back and somehow they'd be there or something. And only at the very, very end of his life did he go to the Wiesenthal Center to find out what actually happened to his parents and how they were killed and so forth. So I think that it was just a combination, but he was really tortured there. And and that's a whole other show. I mean, he wanted to come out, he wanted to stay, it was really, really tricky. I went to visit him there twice, and it's not Disneyland, Vienna. So it was, but he was buried in the Jewish cemetery as a Jew, and it turns out that his grandfather, I believe, was a Hasidic rabbi. And so my brother was with him, my eldest brother, and he told me that the Hasidic community turned out to honor my dad, which to me is, I'm sure my dad knows, so I guess he was in the right place, for his journey. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes?
Do you have any future plans for the show?
You're going to be doing the show and tour, no, Terry, okay. Do I have future? Yeah, well, here's the thing is, no, you're smiling, but the thing is, listen, everything happens for a reason. I was going to go to Israel with a show for the Rosh Festival, and anyway, I was told recently that they have financing for the European artists this year only, but they're promoting my show and on their website and everything, and their intention is to bring over Americans. And at first I was really, because it was, it's such a big deal and an honor to perform in Israel, but everything is at the best time, and I can understand it's a lot cheaper to bring in a European artist, an air flight, than it is, from America to bring it. So hopefully, if all goes as well, I'll perform in Jerusalem, is where they have their the Rosh Festival. It's a festival next year. And other than that,
New York, Broadway.
my dream is to bring it to New York. May I also mention the H word? Do we have time? The H word? Yeah. But I also have another project. I want to keep doing this. Please understand that that's true. But I also have another project, which is a multi-voice show involving second generation and third generation children and grandchildren of the Holocaust, called the H word. H is in Holocaust. And so it is going to be a collection of people's stories. It's not going to be Schindler's List. Not that Schindler's List isn't brilliant, and it is, but it is going to have backstory, but also a very uplifting and humorous aspects to the show in addition, so that people will come to see it, and so that we're transcending the damage of the Holocaust without forgetting it. And it
second generation.
Second and third generation, right? And it debuts in Miami on November the 5th as part of the Arch Center's Holocaust and Humanities. They have a project there for a few months, and it will be at Exit 19th, and then the full show will be April 20th. So if anybody has any stories that they want to contribute, second and third generation stories, including stories from, so-called fringe groups, people of color, gypsies, homosexuals. I have a story from a priest who completely feels that the Catholic faction needs to really make some amends. It has done so much good and so many wonderful things, but feels very strongly and is very outspoken about the fact that the Catholic Church needs to make some amends about how it was involved during the Holocaust, how they basically talked about how, they were asked why, since Catholics, pray to a Jewish God, how are they any different? And apparently, he said, and this is documented, that this cardinal said that it's because Jesus was redeemed washed clean of his sins, so that they have a better Jew. And so basically, it was like sending, the Jews, to the slaughter, so to speak. And so he feels that this has never been dealt with and that that's part of the energy creating anti-Semitism in the world today. And so he's an academic and he's writing a book, and of course you can understand he's being met with a lot of protest. He's very brave, and he was a priest, by the way, for 20 years and has left the priesthood. And so I have, and his father, his grandfather rather, was a Jewish Holocaust survivor. So I have these incredible stories. Anybody who wants to, please, you can find me on the internet.
The son of the Nazi became a Jew.
Oh, and Hindle connected me to this incredible man who, I mean, that story is so unbelievable. He's a medical doctor in Miami, you know, yeah, and his story is also going to be part of it. And for those who don't know, just encapsulated, I mean, he tells it so brilliantly. But his story is, his father was a perpetrator, was a Nazi, a big-time Nazi. And he's such a courageous person. He always wanted to know what went on, and his dad was in denial, and so just to cut through to the chase, he ended up moving to Israel, joining the Israeli army,
becoming an officer.
Say again?
Becoming an officer in the Israeli army.
Becoming an officer, and he fell in love with Jews and Israelis, and he converted after, what was it, 7 years or so of studying to Judaism. And is he not also, is he Orthodox Jew?
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know? Okay.
When he converted Orthodox.
But okay.
He wasn't. If he is today, I don't know.
Okay, all right. But so he's a good Jew, and he's a good man, and he is telling his story, and he's made a documentary film and written a book, and it's just, I mean, he's unbelievable.
What's his name?
His name is Dr. Bernd Vollschläger, is that right?
Vollschläger.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
In Aventura, okay.
Sounds like a toothpaste commercial.
אני מכיר אותו.
אתה מכיר?
Oh, you think?
And I was pretending to go to him. I expect the old guy from Germany to take care. But I went there, and he's a young man.
Right.
How are you? So he told me the whole story.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
then he decided to be Jewish.
Yeah.
And married a Jewish girl. He went to the Israeli army.
Yeah.
And then,
the book
but now I think it's a divorce from it.
I have a question.
He's divorced from the Israeli woman.
There you have the inside scoop. You want to know more? Yes.
She cooked too much hot food for him, so
Sorry,
he divorced
I
her.
have a question.
Too
Please.
spicy.
Other than marrying
He's
a
a parent.
Israeli, which is like, it doesn't get more Jewish than that.
I think it might marrying a rabbi.
That's true.
You like
That's
it?
true. Yeah. What an Israeli. How do you see yourself today? Like, what is it that,
Okay.
how do you connect yourself?
Sure, Hindle has a great question. How do I see
How are
myself
you involved?
Jewish
Yes.
today?
You
Well,
mentioned lighting candles.
lighting candles, right? No, I happen to be affiliated with the Primo Jewish synagogue in Palm Beach. Of course, out of North Palm Beach, and Hindle and Rabbi Zeman have been such good friends to us for, ever since we moved here. That's really the truth. And so, well, my uncle, the rabbi, wrote many books, and he sent me those, and he was never imposing, but I read a lot of what he wrote. We have the collection of the Zohar at home, and I have to say, I'm not really regimented about what I'm doing to study, but I'm doing it in increments because it's overwhelming. It sounds like a little bit of an excuse, maybe it is, but and so I'm overeating.
I just like your signature in the email. It says Frannie Sheridan, writer, actress, cookie eater. They really like that.
That's important.
She had bagel and lax once a week. Cream cheese once a week.
Young partisan, she lived in the woods in Poland. It would be very interesting.
I'm good.
To survive at the home.
Oh my goodness.
It will happen. I went through the mountain and Poland.
This beautiful lady was a partisan. I think I would love to talk to you more about it. I think I have to wrap it up. Oh, it's been nice food. This is for you.
that she is, and really, what a fantastic friend.
Absolutely an honor, my pleasure. Thank you for coming.
And if you open your program book, you'll see listed there our next event. It's called Truth or Myth, Secrets of the Orthodox Lifestyle Uncovered. So you're going to know, is it true that they, now you'll find out.
Smart. Thank you so much.
Nice seeing you guys.
How are you?
No.
See you. How you doing?
So wait a second, one last thing. Is that Neil? It is Neil. Okay, hang on one second. I want to come and say hello. Just a minute. You're not going yet. Really?
When are you going to bring her to us for shopping?
I just thought it was so funny and so apropos, right?
You get up there.
I wanted to just say hi.
This is for Miguel, because he's fantastic.
Oh, yay! What a
She had
hi. Oh, my absolute pleasure, lady. Hi.
We're leaving this show now. My phone's gonna die. I'll give you a call back later.
She Ibrahim. She's
Okay, that's fine.
definitely.
Bye.